It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. I'm talking TV. I'm talking movies. I'm talking anime, cartoons, sci-fi, and fantasy. It's the E.A.R. Chronicles. It's the E.A.R. Chronicles.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the E.A.R Chronicles, where I'm your boy Eric, and I'm here to give you my thoughts on my TV shows and movies that I like. And so, if you're new here, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. If you've been here before, welcome back. And y'all know why we're here. It's to talk about the finale of X-Men 97. It's been a week. It's been a week. And I know y'all probably thinking like, why you didn't do this before? What's take you so long? Because I know y'all looking for me every week. I know y'all are. But life has been life, okay? And YouTube don't pay the bills yet, so he still got to work. I'm still working, uh, and so it's taking me some time to get myself together before I could actually sit down and do this recap for X-Men 97, episode 10. Tolerance is Extinction, Part 3. And where do we begin? Where do we begin? Let's start at the beginning. So, episode 10, it starts us off with Charles and Eric in a bar back in the day, right? Discussing mutants and the way forward for mutants. Is there a way forward for mutants, right? And so they're having this discussion, and you can kind of see, you know how like when people are trying to feel you out and trying to like see what you think about something, they'll throw a little hint out there, but like, oh, I wonder, ice cream show sound good today, but I don't know, is it warm enough for ice cream today? Just to kind of see, they throw something out there to hook you and a bait a response, and then based on their response is going to determine how you respond. So if they're like, oh, well, um it's pretty hot out. I think ice cream is a good choice. It's a good choice for ice cream. And you're like, oh yeah. So this was pretty much them. Magneto was being tested by Charles. So Charles was pretty much like, yeah, what if, mutants, those mutants are something else, huh? What you think about that? And Magneto is pretty much like, well, I would tell them to, don't we worried about these humans, live your own life and to pretty much watch your back. You can't trust these humans. And Charles was like, but you can trust, where's your hope? Where's the faith? Magnus? This is what he called him. And then he tells him that I'm a mutant. Mine's my power is telepathy. I can read minds. And it takes Magneto a second. And Magneto's like, mind is metal. I control metal. So they finally admit it. It's like, okay, y'all got that out the way. Cool. Now we established that y'all both are mutants. And one, y'all know again, if you've been here, I love quotes. For those who are new, I love quotes. And I'm always gonna pull a quote from a show. Magneto tells him, minds are far harder to bend than metal. Because Charles was like, I think we can change the hearts and minds of the people. His same old dream, same old spiel, same old bullcrap. The humans and mutants can coexist peacefully. We can do this. And Magneto like, bending metal is harder than bending the minds of the people. So don't think you're going to get my support on that. And so they have that conversation. Then we realize that we're actually not in the past, reliving a conversation, but we're actually in Magneto's mind. And this arguing about how to fix Earth, all of that is where this is coming from. Because you remember from episode 9 when Charles took over his mind, but then Wolverine stopped him because he Cyclops stopped him. Then Wolverine stabbed him, then he pulled the adamantium out of Wolverine. And in that moment, Magneto was vulnerable and Charles entered his mind. And so this was all about him trying to turn the world back on. And because Magneto's like, I'm not doing it. I don't care, Charles. I don't care what you say. I'm not about to get this world back to Bastion and his Sentinels. Like, are you crazy? You think I put to turn the lights back on so they can finish taking us out? And Charles is like, you leave me no choice. And so he takes over, turns the world back on. Sentinels come back online, right? The Prime Sentinels. And they just attack. Bastion sends them the memo, and they get to attacking everybody. And it ain't just the mutants this time, because Bastion, he's like, no, humans are just too good. Too good. Can't trust them to do what they need to do. So y'all got to go too. Now look at you, looking stupid. You sit here, you wanted Bastion to do what he was going to do. You wanted the mutants to get apprehended. And now look at y'all at the mercy and whims of a maniac. And so Bastion turns the Prime Sentinels against everybody. And as they're attacking everybody, we get all these cameos. See, think about X-Men97. They're going to give us cameos. They love giving us a cameo. And so in this first cameo, they give us Cloak and Dagger, which that was pretty cool to see. Daredevil, they give us Iron Man and Captain America. Don't care. They could have left them. They give us Psylocke. It was nice to see Psylocke, that little crumb of Psylocke. You know, we ain't gonna see her for another 3 seasons. So they're gonna give us that little crumb because folks been asking about Psylocke. North Star, Aurora, and I believe there was a couple other people. I didn't know those other 2 little mutants with them. And so in the midst of all this, the Prime Sentinels are just everywhere, getting ready to take out everybody, right? Simultaneously, you have Bastion. He's interrogating Cable. And he's like, so how many times, nosy, what you being messy for? Bastion, what you being messy for? Tell me how many times you tried to go back in time and change things and you failed. He failed. What you need to know that for? And so Cable like a G. Cable like, I ain't saying nothing. And then so Bastion tells Simpson, make your pet talk. Make him tell me. And so he tells him that he's tried 200 times to go back and stop Genosha from happening. And he's failed 200 times. Can you imagine? Trying 200 times to say it, mama, and couldn't. Watching her die over and over and over and over and over. I don't know, y'all. After that second, third, fourth, fifth time, I might would have had to pack it up because what were you doing that you couldn't do something different? But we find out a few episodes ago that it's a fixed point, so it didn't matter what he did; it was never gonna change. But 200 times is crazy. But in the midst of this, so you got Bastion again being messy, telling him that you worthless, you failed to save your mom, and you got this weird attachment to your clone, the mom's clone, and then your dad beat that. Ooh, what'd he say that for? What'd he say that for? Because as soon as he got dad beat dad out of his mouth, here come Phoenix, the fire turkey, as we call her. She rises up out the ocean. She rises up out the ocean in the water. So it's like a water turkey, fire/water turkey. So it's not fully Phoenix, but it's Phoenix, right? We see the bird shaped. And so she comes up out of the water and Storm gives that laugh. Yo, that laugh that she gave. But pretty much that laugh from Storm was like, oh yeah, y'all supposed to get it. But before we get into that, let's talk about how Bastion had her choked up, grabbed her by the throat, and had her. And she didn't call down no thunder and lightning. She didn't make the wind blow. The breeze was not blowing. She didn't summon a hurricane. She didn't bring no snow. She didn't do nothing. They sat here and let our girl get snatched up, choked up by Bastion. Because she's trying to appeal to his humanity, like basically telling him, your mama lied. You would have been one of the ones, the students just like us, had your mama, let Xavier take you, but she didn't want you. And she just there, tied up by the Sentinels, by the way, the regular Sentinels with the rest of everybody else, not doing nothing. And this caused a lot of discourse on the Twitters. And I'm here to talk about it because And I'm going to keep talking about it. And I think we've been talking about it. And I'm glad that the conversation is happening, because a lot of us feel like, and I don't want this to overshadow the rest of the review, so I may come back to this at the end, but a lot of us just, we're not happy with that scenario, because in what world, the Storm, Mistress of the Elements, Goddess, sits here and allows Bastion to choke her and she don't do nothing? First of all, she's just tied up by a Sentinel. Like, a Sentinel can't hold her. These same Sentinels that she sent twisting and turning in a glass tornado in episode 1 are the same Sentinels that got her tied up. The same Sentinels, mind you, that knocked her out of, they just slapped her out the sky like a fly. Last episode 2, by the way. And it just didn't sit right with me, because I just knew, y'all. I just knew that as soon as we seen her, Bastion doing all his yippity yap 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 before Phoenix came, he yip yip yapping. I'm like, oh, and he yokes up Storm. I just knew them eyes were getting ready to turn white, and lightning was fist to come down and just tear them all up. I just knew it. I knew something was gonna happen, but it didn't, and I was very disappointed in that. But anyways, I guess the point was for Phoenix to do the saving, because then as Phoenix comes, as I was telling you, she comes. Bastion had broke the device, the mnemonic device that Beast had made. She repairs it, throws it back onto Bastion's head, and makes the signal launch across the world, which reshuts down all the Prime Sentinels, stopping them in their tracks, stopping the attacks across the world. Right? And so she tosses Bastion aside. She's done with him. Save the world. Go team. Go Phoenix. Right? Then here comes Sinister. I don't know what he thought he was supposed to do. If you just saw the Phoenix take out Bastion, what do you think you supposed to do? So he get to talking and running his mouth and da 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 da. And so she just reaches up and grabs him, and she was like, huh, and I'm gonna take all this little stolen DNA that you got from all these mutants. I'm taking that from you, taking this from you. She gave him a little makeover. And again, I love quotes. And so she says, the Phoenix burns away the obsolete, the underbrush of fears and insecurities. And so when she got through with Sinister, he was looking like the Crypt Keeper. Okay. Bald, drawed up skin. I mean, head just big. Water head, y'all. Like Patrick. Big head, And so, not Patrick, Squidward. Squidward's head. He had a big Squidward head. See, I didn't watch SpongeBob, y'all. That wasn't my thing. So got a little mixed up. But big old water head. And then he like, I need show me my face. So being Morph, he shows him what he looked like. And when I say that, Sinister, the way he just ran off, it was so comical. It didn't feel like it was supposed to fit in the show. But that was funny. I love that. And then after Sinister's gone, here comes Jean. She plops down, flops out of the Phoenix is gone. She faints out of the sky. Classic Jean, right? She flops out the sky, and she's like explaining to them, the Phoenix, it drew me back. It's gone, y'all. Jean, the Phoenix will never be gone from you, sis. But she's like, I felt it came back to me when I needed to come save my son, and it knew that, and so that's why it came to help. Anyway, so Jean back, y'all. So she didn't die. We knew she wasn't gonna be dead, but she's back, right? And then Cable, Bastion, wherever she threw him, he comes back and just emits this blast that knocks everybody out. Again, nobody's doing anything. Jean weakened, she knocked out. Everybody else knocked to the side. Storm knocked to the side. Still, once again, this was a moment we seen, if you remember, X-Men97, 92, whatever the original, when she fought Nimrod with Bishop Nim, she froze Nimrod, right? And helped them defeat Nimrod, because they couldn't do nothing. They was all shooting and scratching and blasting, couldn't do nothing. Then she took over, right, and saved them. She couldn't call down a blizzard. I mean, she didn't have to defeat him, but she could have at least slowed him down. She could have at least put up a fight. And I'm saying she, as if she had control. I'm talking to the writers. I'm not going to blame just one person, because it was a team of y'all. But I'm going to get back to y'all in a second. No, not in a second, just later on down the road. So Bastion knocks them out, right? He gets to talking. He's like, you know what? That's okay. You might have stopped plan A, but you know what? I'm just going to take all out, period. I'm going to bring Asteroid M down to Earth and just wipe y'all out. I'm going to dinosaur you, pretty much. He's going to give y'all, humans and mutants alike, the dinosaur treatment. And in the midst of this, he goes, snatches up Cable, rips his arm out and beat him with the arm, mind you, and then uses this arm to evolve into this other more menacing form with the wings, kind of like a death angel, archangel like creature, this new form, much more menacing than before. And he takes off to go crash Asteroid M to Earth. And so Charles and Magneto is where we get back to them, their story, which I'm so sick of. Like, I don't want to see them no more. I'm tired of this Charles and Magneto. Matter of fact, I don't mind Magneto. Magneto was cool. It's Charles. Y'all, I can't be the only one. I'm so sick of Charles. I don't know what to do. I'm so sick of him. And if you watch it, you can put, and you watch it on Twitter, put some comments in there. You can share your thoughts. I'll respond to them. But I'm just so sick of Charles. I don't know what to do. So they back in his mind, his unconscious mind, right? They're trapped there because he shattered Magneto's psyche. And for the comic book people, I'm not a comic book person. I told you all this in my intro when I started this. I ain't never really read the comics, but I do be nosy and I do skim and, you know, kind of around, you know. And I do know that there was a huge theory about Onslaught and that this is how it happens when Professor Xavier shatters Magneto's psyche. But we didn't get Onslaught. Maybe he'll come up later. But anyway, Magneto's psyche is shattered. So they're still there and they're trapped. And so he tells them that y'all got to keep us alive because if he go down, it's over. It's a wrap for all of us. And so in the midst of this, Bastion gets to Asteroid M and Rogue get the molly whopping on him. She intercepts him and she gets the whop. His name was Gambit. Remember it. And then she do that clap. She ate him up. I mean, if one thing this show it did give Rogue was shining. She shined a few times before, but this one, I didn't think she was gonna go toe to toe with no Bastion, not the evolved version, but she went toe to toe with this man, and she was wiping the floor with him on the moon. And has she always been able to breathe in space? And I'm gonna come back to the space comment too, but I guess she can breathe in space because she got Miss Marvel power, so I'm gonna let her slide. But somebody else that was breathing in space and shouldn't be, and I'm gonna talk about that soon. So she gets the molly whopping on Bastion, right? And she's winning. But then, you know, then they move back. No, Sunspot joins. There we go. Sunspot joins her, right? He all flamed up, powered up, and he start attacking Bastion too, getting his little licks in. Then they move us back to the mind of Magneto. And the House of M cameo. So we've seen Scarlet Witch, we've seen Quicksilver, and Polaris, and Rogue in a boat in Magneto's mind. Right. So that was another cameo. Told you they love their cameos. But also during this time, all the governments around the world, they're with the Avengers or some of the Avengers, and they're debating on whether to use and activate the Magneto protocols and send those missiles up to Asteroid M to stop it. And I'm just thinking, I'm no scientist. I don't have a degree in science or rocket science or no type of science because I don't like science. But I'm like, if you send missiles to take down an asteroid or any big thing out there in space, doesn't physics tell y'all what goes up must come down? I do know that much. Somebody said, I don't know who said it, but somebody said what goes up must come down. So if you shoot down this asteroid, what y'all think is going to happen? None of them thought about that while they're debating on if they're going to do it or not. And so I will give Captain America and them, they tried to like, President, I don't know if we should do it. We need to wait and try to figure some things out. But we know the humans, they going to do what they think is best. And it always means collateral damage for everybody else. And then they want to blame the mutants for stupid stuff they almost did. And so that happens. They're debating about that. Then we get back to Bastion versus the other X-Men, because then he takes out Rogue and Sunspot. Right, he knocked them out. Then he get to fighting with Kurt, and boy, when I tell you, I had to hold my breath because Kurt was all over the place. And if you watch enough shows with teleporters, you know eventually that the person that they're fighting typically pinpoints their pattern of teleportation, and then they get grabbed or sliced or stabbed. And according to the comics, he does get stabbed. And so a lot of people were just waiting with bated breath on when Bastion was going to capture Nightcrawler and stab him and kill him. And so we thought we was getting ready to have another death upon our hands. But he just grabbed him, right? He didn't kill him, but I guess he was getting ready to. But Cyclops comes in and he blasts him away. So him and Cyclops is going, Cyclops shooting his rays and he blasts him back. Where Bastion got these beams and power blasts, I don't know, but he got them. So they having a power struggle, right? And so he goes full throttle with the beams. Bastion goes, he knocks him out. Then he get back up and then take out Cyclops. And here goes Jubilee, of all people. Him and her, he like, what you supposed to do with these 4th of July fireworks? She go, that's what you gonna do? But Jubilee, she has something to prove, y'all. She learned something from back in that game, from the old version of herself, or the fake version of herself. Whatever, the game version of herself. She put the moves on him, right? She left that man looking like Two-Face from DC, from Batman's villains, after she got through with him. She was the only one able to put an actual something on him. Like, she took that man's face off. And so apparently her powers are not just like these little pyrotechnics and these little fireworks like they have us to fleet. Apparently she can like detonate nuke matter at a nuclear matter or something. I don't know what that stuff is. She can detonate something, and she detonated on his face because his face was half gone by the time he got up fooling with Jubilee. And so the other X-Men finally arrived. Bastion thought it was his. He was like, my people have come, pretty much, but it was really Beast and the rest of the X-Men inside a Sentinel. Kind of, they gave us the Trojan horse method, right? He thought the people was coming to save him, that Sentinel was coming to save him, but it's really the X-Men. And so they arrive, and they get ready to fight him. They're prepared. Everybody's Bastion over here. They like, all right, it's game on. We ready. And as they're getting ready to fight, because Bastion is holding off the Sentinel that Beast is controlling, trying to step on him, they get ready to fight him. And then Cyclops is like, wait, we can't keep doing what we've been trying to tell humanity to do. We got to do what we've been wanting them to do. I'm sorry. And that's embrace the future. Here comes Storm. Embrace the future. What? Y'all trying to reason with a genocidal, homicidal maniac that just took out all of y'all people? Well, not all of, but enough of y'all people. A terrorist, a mechanical, genocidal, homicidal, mechanical terrorist. And y'all trying to reason with him? Talking about embrace the future? Y'all can embrace the future, but he ain't got to be part of it. But no, this is what they wanted to do. So they tell him, your mother lied to you, Bastion, and you are one of us. We want to move forward. We can do it. We can kumbaya. Sick to my stomach. I was sick to my stomach because I was ready to see some action. But Bastion, pretty much, he like, why do y'all keep trying? Are y'all dumb? How the genocidal terrorists got more sense than y'all? Bastion pretty much was like, y'all still trying to reason with me? Are y'all dumb or are y'all stupid? He's like, I don't care what you say. I don't care if my mama lied. I don't care if Xavier was trying to help me. I would end up like y'all, losers. Don't care. I want y'all dead. And nothing's going to change. And he's like, for example, the humans ain't going to change. Look out the window. And what we see, here come all the missiles. They launched the protocols, y'all. So all the missiles is coming while they sit up here looking stupid, trying to reason with him to protect the humans once again, being foolish. They just activated the protocols and sent the missiles up. Missiles hit the asteroid, start tearing holes into it. Bastion gets swept away. He didn't grab their hand. Jean put a little bubble around everybody. But in the midst of that bubble, Jubilee gets sucked out in outer space. Sunspot saves her, but how is she breathing? Somebody tell me. Because last time I checked, she ain't got no type of abilities and powers that allows her to breathe in outer space comfortably. Unless they injected them with something we ain't know about. Beast and them found, something to get in. Forge gave them something. She should have been dead as soon as she left that, because she didn't hold her breath. I could understand if she would have, and had held her breath, but she didn't hold her breath. She was out there talking and smiling up at Sunspot when he called her, like, what you spot? You should be dead. And so that was, that was a little weird, but okay, she can breathe in outer space. I guess nothing special. Add that to her powers too, I guess. I don't know. And so that happens. And Cyclops, he comes up with a plan, and he's like pretty much trying to sacrifice himself. Here you go, trying to be the martyr. I guess as the team leader, he got to go down with the ship. So he pretty much letting them know, like, y'all get to safety. I'll blow up the reaction core and save y'all pretty much. But then Hank comes up with another way to save everybody. In the middle of this, we go back down to where Bishop Forge is. He's tending to Nathan, Cable, whichever you want to call him. And so they visit him. They meaning Jean and Cyclops. I be going in and out of when I want to call him Scott, and then Cyclops, and then Jean. Jean and Cyclops, Jean and Scott, same thing, same people. You know what I'm talking about. So they go visit Nathan telepathically, right? So they appear before him in like this little diner-looking place. And they had a little moment or whatever. Cyclops pretty much was like, I'm sorry, you grew up without us. And Cable talking about how he heard about the legends of the X-Men and how he should have been a part of it. And Jean's like, you are a part of it, baby. Don't worry, you're a part of it. Anyway, and so then Cyclops says something about how your mother told me you had my eyes. And so Jean holds back the optic glass, and so we're seeing his eyes, and he said they're good eyes, blah 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 blah. I don't care about these eyes. I don't know. Wrap the Summers up. Wrap the Summers up, because I can't. I don't. It's cute or whatever, but it's wrap that up. The asteroid is getting ready to fall to Earth, and y'all over having lovey-dovey moments. Now it's not the time, but anyways, in the midst of this, then we get Jean, Storm, and Cyclops and Rogue. They combining their powers to stop the asteroid, right? So Rogue is pushing up with all her strength, and then Storm and Jean combine their powers. Oh, Storm gets to use her powers, y'all. We are 25 minutes in to this finale with 5 minutes left to remain, and Storm is finally using her powers. Yippee! Kaye! Wrong, because she had to combine them with Jean. Both of these 2 Omega level mutants, mind you, to push and stop the asteroid. It ain't working. Storm is cracking a sweat. Why is Storm sweating? Why is she sweating? But I digress. So they combined. It was a cute little moment. Ain't gonna matter. They sisters. Okay? It was nice. I loved it. Nice little moment to try to stop the asteroid, but they're failing. It's not working. And then here go the government realizing that they made a mistake. That they were stupid enough to launch their things, and now they see the asteroids getting ready to land and kill them all, pretty much. And it's like I said earlier, so y'all didn't think that when you shot it out the sky, where did you think it was going to go? That's my question. Where did you think it was going to go? It had only one place but to go, back to Earth, killing more people. Y'all's hatred and blindedness about the mutants and Magneto was getting ready to get y'all killed. And so again, here with the cameos. So in the midst of this, when everybody's saying a prayer, Nightcrawler up there, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be. I mean, he going in. Prayer warrior, Nightcrawler going in, he going before the throne, interceding on their behalf. Okay, he prayer warrior. He knew how to get a prayer through. He knew who to call on. He called on Jesus. Okay, he was calling on Jesus to save him. But in the midst of this. In the midst of this, we see that Peter Parker and Mary J. Y'all almost got this woman Mary J. Blige. Peter Parker and Mary Jane cameo. Everybody just all up in, oh my God, did you see the Peter Parker, the didn't move me. Don't care about Spider-Man like that. I don't. Didn't move me. Didn't move me at all, but it was cute or whatever. It's cool. But in the middle of this, so the Nightcrawler praying, in Jean them outside and Storm outside, they trying to stop it. Here go. We all wonder, where is Morph and Wolverine? Well, they in the med bay, right? Wolverine, he on his deathbed, on the sick and shut in list. Can't move, can't talk, just out of it. And Morph, he's like, well, I can't tell you, but Jean's not here to tell you this, but I can tell you. So he transforms into Jean and tells Wolverine, I love you. And everybody knew. Everybody in that moment was like, we ain't falling for that. This ain't no Jean. You telling Wolverine he love her. She love him to get Wolverine through. This is Morph telling Wolverine that he loves him, or they love him. Excuse me. And it was confirmed that that's exactly what they were doing. They were professing their love for Wolverine. Romantically, not just platonically. So let's be clear. Morph is in love with Wolverine. I mean, we all knew that. We been knew. But anyways, so that's happening. Then Magneto finally awakens. Charles gets him to remember in the midst of everything, in his mind overflowing. He wakes up, turns the uses his powers, pulls the asteroid back up, stops it from falling to the earth, and as he takes it back into orbit, this flash of light, this blast, something happens, and they vanish. Gone. Without a trace. Nobody knows what's going on. And so then we fast forward 6 months later, and everybody's still missing. There's a whole wall, mind you, of missing X-Men. And Forge is looking at it, and Bishop come back. Come on. Finally, Lucas Bishop is back. He's back. And he tells Forge, well, let me stop. The wall. I wanted to talk about the wall. So the wall of X-Men that Forge is looking at, it has a list, and it's saying presumed dead, or off world, and then those who didn't have nothing. I'm assuming that means they're available, and that may be a team, is what a lot of people are speculating for the next season. But so the people on that wall were Kitty, Iceman, Colossus, Emma, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Magic, Dust, Havoc, and Exodus. They were all the available ones. Well, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were considered off-world. Everybody else that I mentioned, they were the ones whose portrait was up there and assumed to be available. And so Bishop then gets into a little tiff with Forge, because Forge's like, who are you? We don't know each other. And he's like, what? Pretty please. Like, this is my mansion too. Like, we know each other. You gonna get to know me. Don't just chill. Like, I'm trying to let you know. The X-Men are fine. But we need to figure out when they are, because somebody has yanked them through time. And so then they move us to time to where everybody at. In 3000 BC in Egypt is Rogue, Nightcrawler, Charles, Magneto, and Beast. Future 3969 AD, Cyclops and Jean, they are with the Ascani tribe, Mother Ascani, who is apparently Rachel, and a younger Nathan. So they're in the future. And then in Egypt, with the people that I mentioned first, they encounter and save N'Sabanur, who we know to be Apocalypse. And then post-credit scenes, present day, Genosha. In the ruins of Genosha, we have present day Apocalypse. And we get a glimpse of him picking up the Queen of Hearts, which is a sign foreshadowing that Gambit is going to return, and lots of speculation and theories about how he's coming back, potentially as a Horseman of Death. And guess where we were left wondering? I didn't care about more than Wolverine. Yeah, I know they missing too, but apparently they still present day, as well as Storm. But that was my question. As it ended, I'm like, where's Storm? I know good and well she ain't gone again. That was my first immediate thought. As soon as the credits rolled, I said, I know they ain't took her out the show again. After they even took her out for half the season. she gone again without a trace, just like that. And so, I mean, season 2 story, she better be in every episode from here on out, because it's been quite disrespectful and nauseating to see how they've done Storm. I can't be the only one. I can't be. I know I'm not the only one, because we've been talking about it for a week straight. How Storm is getting done. I can put the notes away, y'all, because I'm done. That's my recap. And I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it was a good episode. It was a good finale. It gave us some good cameos. It gave us some good foreshadowing. What could be, what's to be, what will be, all that. Wonderful. But my biggest gripe, and a lot of the gripes from people like me, was, where was Storm in this finale? I'm just going to be honest. The erasure of Storm, and I know a lot, and here go, and I'm just going to clarify, because a lot of people, this ain't the Storm show. It's the X-Men. It's not Storm and the X-Men. I ain't say that. And a lot of us haven't said that either. Do we go hard for Storm? Absolutely. We going to still ride for mine. Okay? We going to always ride for Storm. And as our favorite character, no, we are not trying to, well, maybe a little bit. We do want to see her more than some other people, because people want to bring up, well, compared to Beast ain't getting no shine. What is Beast gonna do? He's smart. Thank you, Hank. Come up with an idea. Come up with a little plan, a serum, a device. That's cool. Do what you got to do. Beast don't demand a lot of time. I could care less about Wolverine. He don't need no more. He done had 20 years to shine, right? And so you get Rogue shining, which love that for her. Jean shining, Cyclops shine. I love seeing all these other people shine other than Wolverine. So anybody other than Wolverine that gets them shine, I'm all here for it. But the fact remains that y'all took Storm out in episode 2, right? So she had this big moment in episode 1. He, ancient sins, heed my, like, that scene will replay in my mind over and over and over again forever. I will go back and watch that just for that part alone, because of how boss it was, right? Omega level threat detect, like that scene, top tier. But they will say that's all you get this season. That's all, and that's all we got too. Crumbs, because everybody wants to say Storm had plenty of moments. She shined throughout. She had her own story arc. If y'all bring up Life Death one more time, the same story arc that was split into 2 episodes, and then she shared both episodes with somebody else. So she shared part 1 with Jubilee, and then shared part 2 with Xavier. That story arc, the one that was split, and she was probably only had 5 minutes of screen time combined in both the arcs that were supposed to be about her. Okay, and then it was born, but it didn't give us nothing. Like that didn't give us nothing. Everybody wants to talk about she grew and she brought the wisdom, and Storm has always been wise. We know this. Storm has always been wise. And I'm not saying, so let me clarify before y'all get the twisting and turning my words, but I've tweeted it on my Twitter page at E.A.R Chronicles on Twitter. Shouted it from the rooftops. I've retweeted so many different followers and different people I follow on there with the same exact thought process as me that I'm getting ready to share again. We were not and are not asking for Storm to be the star of every single episode. We're not asking for Storm to be the answer every single time. We're not asking for Storm to come in and swoop in and save the day like she did in episode 1. We're not asking for that. However, we are asking for her to be fairly represented in the action sequences. Wisdom, again, her showing wisdom and kindness, compassion, and empathy. Wonderful. Love that about her character. It adds more to her. Yes, she learned to, battle her fears and insecurities. And yes, she learned that embracing the things that you may fear, embracing the things that scare you, embracing the things that mean you harm, or the people that mean you harm, embracing those things. Yes, she learned that. But that don't do us no good when she wrapped up, tied up like a shoestring by basic sentinels. That doesn't do a bit of good when Bastion is choking the life out of her and get ready to crack her larynx. All we ask We were not asking for her to, again, swoop in and save the day. All we wanted to see was her in action. And I'm not counting that scene that she had with Jean. No, she could have, once again, stopped the Sentinels when they were all wrapped up and tied up. She could have did lightning, blizzard, hailstorm, a tornado, or something to free them. At least distract Bastion or something, right? And then let Phoenix come in and save the day. We weren't asking for Storm to do it. We just wanted something else in the action part. We wanted to see weather. That's what we wanted. And it hurts. And it's egregiously and blatantly Storm sabotage, in my opinion, because she had her powers stripped away. She gets them back in a beautiful scene. Love the transformation. Will never take away from that transformation. It was amazing. But she got her powers back to do what? What was the point of giving her powers back if she wasn't even going to show up in the finale to do anything about it? And I don't want to hear nothing about that little tornado that she did, that little 2-second clip they gave us with her in that, you know, her code, that piano segment. It's giving Sebastian. Okay. The piano had more screen time than she did. That little tornado that she did in the air to distract the Sentinels when Jean M landed in episode 9, that was cute and cool, but she couldn't call that same tornado down to free them from the clutches of the Sentinels. I mean, I'm just over it. I'm over it, and we're frustrated, and we have every right to be. I think we have every right to be. And I want to know y'all's thoughts. Please, 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 please. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I'm just doing it live on Twitter for those who are watching, but I am going to upload this on YouTube. So please make sure you go to the E.A.R Chronicles on YouTube and subscribe, because I'm going to put this on here. And please put your comments, your thoughts on what I'm saying about this episode, but the Storm fiasco in general. Please, I want to know your thoughts. But I'm tired. We're really tired. Storm fans are tired of not seeing her represented the way she should be. We've seen it time and time again in the films of how they've done her wrong, barely giving her any lines, barely giving her anything. Like, I'm still pissed about how they did her in Dark Phoenix. She didn't say a mumbling word in Dark Phoenix half the time, but that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother time. But the way she was done, and I'm not taking away from, again, any character development that she did was great. She had her own arc, and this whole thing about she had plenty of moments to shine. She didn't shine into action but once, just a couple of times before getting knocked out or wrapped up, tied up, or like everybody, like I said earlier, and everybody else has mentioned, trying to appeal to Bastion's humanity. And so I just can't get with it, and I won't ever be satisfied with the crumbs that they give us as a Storm fan. And so I think we're well within our rights to criticize the lack thereof. And for all y'all to get on here and gaslight us on Twitter, get on Twitter and gaslight us and try to tell us that we're trying to be greedy, or try to tell us that we're asking for too much and that we want it to be the Storm show, when y'all are being willfully obtuse. Because as I said before, we've never said that. We've never asked for her to be the star, as she should be. I mean, she's the leader of the X-Men. She's an Omega level mutant. She has the ability to do a lot of things that other people can do that could help or save them time, right? Like, they too busy Charles trying to convince Magneto to turn back on the world when Storm could have fixed that. She has the ability. She's connected to the magnetic field. She said it when she got back. I can feel the Earth's magnetic field, electromagnetic field dying. She could feel it. So if she can feel it, she can fix it. Amen. And I'm going to get off my soapbox because I can go on and on and on about this. But Justice of Storm. Also, while we're at it, because I am going to do a recap and a review of the Vampire Diaries, and great series, but one thing that I disliked about it, and it took down my rating for that show, was how they did Bonnie Bennett, another Black character. I'm starting to see parallels that they take these strong Black women who could solve a lot, if not all, the problems that the teams and the people face. And when I say they should do it all the time, but the same Black women, Black cartoon or, live action, whatever TV show, movie, the Black women with all this power, amazing power. It's not our fault that they got the good powers. Sorry, that blame the creators. But the ones that got all this power, the black women, they get sidelined. They get pushed to the back. Because Bonnie Bennett, if y'all haven't watched Vampire Diaries, please go watch it. But for those who have watched it, y'all know what I'm talking about. How many times did they kill Bonnie? How many times did they have her unconscious? How many times did she lose her powers? How many times was she out of the picture when the good big fights were going on when she could have been on the front lines helping out? How many times? And so that's what we're asking about Storm. How many times are we going to keep seeing this character in all types of media, be it anime or live action, movie or TV show? Keep seeing Storm with all of this power be sidelined. And yes, she was sidelined. She was gone half the season, didn't have powers for half the season, come back with powers and didn't do nothing, hardly. So sidelined, absolutely. So how many times are we going to keep seeing this happen? Time and time again. And it's specifically with black women characters, but we saw it with Bishop too. I'm going to throw them in there too because Bishop had 2 good episodes in him before they kicked him to the curb. Now he is back. And so maybe this is indicative that he will be more seen in season 2, which he deserves. But what about Storm? Again, gone without a trace. Just the woman just got back 2 episodes ago, literally, or last episode rather. And she already gone again, and we don't know. So hopefully that means there's another storyline coming up that she'll get to partake in, and hopefully she's done justice. But I don't know. I'm optimistic. Are y'all? We'll see. But y'all, I've talked enough. I can go on and on and on, but I'm going to leave y'all here. Please, if you're watching, make sure you go to YouTube and please subscribe to the E.A.R Chronicles, which is this channel. And please subscribe and go look at the other recaps that I did for the entire season of X-Men. Season 1 of this 97, X-Men 97, and share your thoughts because I started this YouTube channel because of X-Men and because I'm a nerd and I'm like, I need a space to I need an outlet for this. And so I'm excited for this little new journey that I've embarked on. So please, I want to hear your thoughts, your comments, because I want to build a community for conversations like these. And so your feedback is very important to me. And as I said on a couple of my last recaps at the end, as X-Men has wrapped up and there will be no more X-Chat series, I will be recapping Blood of Zeus Season 2. So we'll be doing that. I'll be working on that in the next few days. I'm also, again, like I just said, I will be doing my own personal recap of the Vampire Diaries series as well. And I think I'm going to try to look at Doctor Who, the new one, and see what that's all about. And if it's good, we're going to talk about that too. And so I got some content coming up that I want to discuss with y'all in this nerdy anime, cartoon, sci-fi, fantasy realm. So please stay tuned. And if you're not already following me on Twitter or Instagram, please follow me there on Instagram at the E.A.R Chronicles and on Twitter at E.A.R Chronicles. And yeah, y'all, thanks for tuning in. For those who are watching, it means the world to me. I appreciate it greatly. And I can't wait to do this again. And like I said, I will be uploading this onto YouTube. So if you're waiting for it to get on YouTube, I'm going to do that right after this. So we'll be uploaded tonight, or rather this morning. So you can always go back on YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on those notification bells so you always know when I got something coming out. So until next time, EARHustlers, I'm out.